It's Geek Smack episode number 191, and it's brought to you by Mosey. Remember that code GEEK gets you 15% off to back up now, back up often, and back up off-site. Also, over at Stitcher, go over to stitcher.com/geek, enter in your name, and download the mobile application for a chance to win $100. And, of course, all the video is done by Telestream and Wirecast. Produce live webcasts now for your Mac, for your PC, with Wirecast.com. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Jeffrey Powers. Let's get into your Geek Smack for the week. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here. Welcome to episode number 191 of Geek Smack, the weekly podcast, the new version of everything and all that is holy with smacking a geek around. My name is Jeffrey Powers. Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for tuning in. If this is the first time that you've come to the show, thank you very much for downloading or watching this show. We've got an audio version, we've got a video version, we've got all the versions you'll ever need, and so much more. So we do a lot of news, we do a lot of reviews, we do a lot of cool stuff. So we're going to get you smacked down in a couple minutes here. Thanks a lot for coming to the show. Like I said, I hope you guys had a happy 4th of July. I pretty much sat the whole weekend and worked, but I got a lot of work done. We've got some great announcements over at Geek Azeem. I want to tell you a little bit about it, but I kind of can't. What I can tell you is the Day in Tech History. If you haven't listened to that podcast, go over there and listen to that podcast. Got a lot of new, good, cool stuff coming up, and we might even have a new host do some of the talking for the Day in Tech History podcast. 5 tech things you should know about. Of course, that video is still there, and then of course the Day in Tech History, like I just said, the OTT, the special media feed. That's the one to watch out for the special news event that's coming up very soon. We've got a jam-packed show, and we're going to be talking all about Google+. You might have heard it. You might go, oh no, Google Plus again, not gonna do it. We're going to get into this show right now. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get into your Tech Smack.
Tech Smack.
Alright, this is your Tech Smack. My name is Jeffrey Powers. I realized I didn't plug in the external monitor. Hopefully, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me through Twitter at Geek Azeem. Feel free to contact me through Gmail at geekazeem@gmail.com. I do have the phone number 608-205-4378 if you want to call. But we're kind of getting rid of that because nobody really calls. Nobody likes to call me. I don't know. But anyway, we do have a great show worth of technology, so let's get in here, and let's get into your Tech Smack to begin with. We're going to start over at cbsnews.com. Ladies and gentlemen, Obama is not dead. There was a hacked news Twitter feed that said, hey, Obama's dead. It's a sad 4th of July, blah, 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 blah. Obama's dead, but it's not true. What is true is that Fox News has gotten back the Twitter handle, and I think there's some noise going on in the background. Apologize for that. But anyway, that it is not true. They got their Twitter handle back, and they've deleted all those tweets. But, of course, you can see all these over at cbsnews.com. It's not a sad day. I mean, if we would have known about it, I'll tell you something. First of all, do you like this new camera look? I'm working on different ideas here. But anyway, if we would have, it would have been so much news past Twitter. Now, when Osama bin Laden died, it was on the Twitter feed, and we knew about it before Obama came out and said that Osama bin Laden had passed away. But if you were in Iowa and Obama was shot or whatever, we would have known about it, and Twitter would have been abuzz in many different ways before Fox News would have broken that news. This is not silent news. This is very public news, and it just happens. So it's a little bit surprising that people kind of thought that way. But you know what? Hey, that's the way it goes. So if you want to check out more on that, you can check out all the tweets over at cbsnews.com. Let's move over to Computer World. Verizon is set to drop unlimited data plans, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the data plan. If anybody ever tells you, hey, we've got an unlimited data plan, forget about it. Just completely forget about it, because there is no such thing as an unlimited data plan. At least maybe for 3-4 months we'll have it unlimited, but then that's it. We're done. We can't hold up with that. They do have a better tiered plan, though. I do have to admit. $30 for 2 gigabytes per month, which I believe that is what the iPhone also has. The other plans are $50 for 5 gigabytes and $80 for 10 gigabytes, which was a Verizon spokeswoman, Brenda Rainey, was talking about. So just like with the iPhone, with my iPhone, since I was on a plan before they changed it, they couldn't change it. But now, if you go and get an iPhone from this point, or any smartphone that matter, from this point forward, you're going to get a tiered plan. Now, are you going to use 2 gigabits of data per month? The average user, probably not. So you're probably good there. It gets a little bit pricey once you go past that 2 gigabits per month. $50 is a little bit pricey for that tiered. I like the fact that they've gone tiered past, but I don't like the prices that they've gone on the tiered past. If you want to read more about it, you can go over to computerworld.com and check that out. All right, let's move over to TechCrunch. Mobile payments, they're talking, speaking on the mobile front, mobile payments tripling to $670 billion by 2015. They're expecting everybody to buy everything through their mobile device, whether it be an iPhone, an Android phone, or an iPad, or whatnot. So it was a Juniper report that was released globally recently by Global NFC Mobile contactless payment transactions. They're saying that will reach nearly 50 billion by 2014. This is not surprising, ladies and gentlemen. That's the way it goes, because we're going to move to our mobile devices. We're going to move to our smartphones. We're going to move to our tablets, and it's just the way that it is. And there's going to be no changing that. We're going to get rid of our desktops. At least most of us are going to get rid of our desktops. I'm going to probably keep my desktop because I love it. I love my desktop. So anyway, if you want to read more about it, you can go over to techcrunch.com. That's where everything is over there. Let's go over to Network World. There's a new feature. There's a kid. This is a kid from Duke University. And he said, when you turn on Wi-Fi, you turn it on and it stays on all the time. It's always searching for stuff. Well, why don't we put Wi-Fi into a nap mode? Which means when you're not using your phone, it's going to sleep a little bit more, and therefore it's going to take up less resource, and therefore take up less battery life. And then the next thing you know, you're going to have a better battery life in your smartphone. So they're working on this technology to actually put your Wi-Fi to sleep. And I would guess if that becomes a successful thing, where it doesn't stumble along every time you try and access a Wi-Fi hotspot, then I could see other parts of a smartphone taking nap time to the limit. And if that happens, then next thing you know, you're going to have a better battery. We're going to talk more about batteries on the geek side of the Geek Smack, but this is pretty cool stuff. You can check it out over on networkworld.com. Move back over to TechCrunch. Skype 5.2 for Mac has arrived. If you want to download it, go ahead and do so. Let's put that into this one, I believe. Yes, there we go. Skype 5.2 for Mac, and they've got some great new features. It's available now. You can download it right now, and they does do group video calls. So if you are interested in that feature, it is now available. So check it out. And that is over at techcrunch.com. Skype's always been kind of on and off when it comes to Mac. So, and of course with Microsoft now into the equation, a lot of people were curious as to what was going to happen with the Mac side of things. But we've seen now that they're going to go forward. Why would they try to not go forward on a Mac side? It just wouldn't make any sense. So I'm really glad on that, and I'm really glad that they have a lot of new options. The screen sharing, of course, is available for free one-to-one Skype calls. If you want to do the group video calls, I think that is a pay feature. And if you want to read more about it, you can go over to TechCrunch.com and check that out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into your rumors for the day. All right, computerworld.com is saying that Apple is shipping Lion Goldmaster. They're saying that the rumors of the dates are swirling around, but July 14th sounds like the magic day. What Goldmaster is like the last final super copy before it gets released. It's the they call it the release to manufacturing is basically what it is, an RM version. But the Golden Master, I'm not sure where that came from, but it sounds like a video dub, which brings us to a new segment to Geek Azeem, Geek Smack. We're going to dub what happened over at Apple this week. So I'm going over and I'm going to install my line. Oh, hey, he stole my line. Putting that back. You cannot have the golden lion, but I'm going to get him. Huh. Haha, I want lion. I'm going to take lion if I have to. I will get your lion back. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. He went over that way. Okay, let's go. That's it. I want lion and I want it now. You will not stop me. What, do you think you can BitTorrent get lion? You're gonna have to wait till July 14th like the rest of us. And you will wait. I will get it now if I have anything to say about it. And I do. Fine, my friends will help out here. What? Oh, hey, no, I want lion now, give lion, lion, give, no, lion, lion now, where is he? Oh, there he is. Apple, maybe, might get, I know that Final Cut Pro 7 or 10 didn't work, but this will. Oh, I'll get it. What is going on over here? That's it. No more line till July 14th. Thank you very much. And that's Geek Smack dub. Yeah, I know, I have to work on it a little bit. But anyway, if you want to check that out, we'll release that a little bit later in the week as its own feature on YouTube. Of course, the other segments are going to go as separate features into YouTube. You can go in and check them out as they go. As for Lion, you're going to have to wait. I believe July 14th is the magic date. That's what I've been seeing and hearing on the interweb there. So can't wait for that and go from there. So if you want to read more about that, go over to computerworld.com. All right, speaking of rumors, Apple's ordered 15 million iPhone 5S's. It's iPhone 4s. There's nothing really to report about it. It just says that Apple placed an order for 15 million next-gen iPhones from Pegatron. It sounds like a transformer.
I am Pegatron and I make iPhone 5.
I don't know. Digitimes reported that. We got this link over at ArsTechnica. They're expecting to have a CDMA version, a GSM version, of course, 3G, a little bit of 4G, I believe LTE. Well, it depends on which network of the 4G. They're expecting a 8-megapixel camera into it, and, of course, the Apple A5 chipset, which makes the phone dual-core, and which is hardcore for all you hardcore iPhone people. Of course, I'm waiting. I've got my 3GS. I was going to wait for this time, and now I got to wait a little bit longer. My data plan is pretty much expired, so hopefully now that these data plans are going into out of contract service, that Apple will not change the plans until I go for my new iPhone. So we'll see what happens. If you want to read more on that, go over to ArsTechnica and get that information there. Let's go over to MaximumPC.com because they're talking about the Toshiba and the new glasses free 3D Toshiba 750 laptop. And of course, I saw some of these prototypes at CES. They look pretty interesting. They have a full 1080 resolution, and they have, of course, the cinematic display, so you can get your movies. Built-in Blu-ray disc, get 6 gigabytes of RAM, 640 gigabyte hard drive in this F750 laptop. But the price, this is the kicker. The price is going to be $2,100, and I suppose that's not too bad for this type of machine, because this type of machine is meant for high definition viewing. Now, I'm assuming it'll also have some sort of way to export it to your more high definition television for viewing 3D movies and stuff like that. But we'll see what happens. So if you've got $2,100 lying around, go ahead and get yourself one. If you want to get me one, that's pretty cool too. Thank you very much. So, but if you want to read more about that, go over to MaximumPC.com. All right, Cisco is in the news over at the Inquirer, and it's not a bad thing. Of course, the last couple of weeks we've been talking about what Cisco's going to do to kind of catch up to the times, especially since HP's been coming out with all this cool networking stuff. Well, the Inquirer is talking about how China has worked out a deal with Cisco in where they're actually going to put up some cameras, lots of cameras, tons of cameras. They're building a 500,000 camera network to prevent crime and anything else that China decides they don't want to have in China, I suppose. So it's according to the Wall Street Journal, and they're supplying new networking equipment. Link up to 500,000 cameras throughout the city of Chongqing. I hope I pronounced that right. So pretty interesting stuff. If you're in the city of Chongqing, you might want to be a little bit cautious once this comes up. It's going to take a little while to get up, so you'll still have the opportunities to get your bootleg copies of True Grit and Transformers 3 and Green Lantern and all those other great movies that are out right now. So if you want to check out more, go over to theinquirer.net on that. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, this is actually pretty cool. This is over on the Wall Street Journal. Phone data. What they're doing is their public officials have put together a pretty interesting network where what they're doing is they are, and when I say Wall Street Journal, I meant New York Times. I apologize for this. Los Angeles Police Department, they're concerned over certain areas and traffic congestion, especially during road construction. So what they're going to be doing is they're going to be using smartphones in a different way where they're going to locate the congestion. Because, even though you're not talking on your smartphone, you're giving out signals where you are and so on and so forth on certain smartphones. If you haven't turned off those features, blah, blah, blah. Let's not get in conspiracy theories on this one. But what they're going to do is they're going to take that data and they're going to figure out where congestion is, which is actually pretty cool because then they can warn people, hey, and without having to take a chopper out there to go, hey, these people, you might want to watch out on the highway down this stretch of road. It's pretty congested. You might want to take your time or find an alternate route. I think that's a great idea. It's a positive, using a negative to make a positive. And I know a lot of you don't want to be tracked out there, but in all reality, if you have a smartphone, you're being tracked. Everybody knows that I'm in the Geek Bar right now through my phone. The only way that they don't know is if I actually turn off the phone. Now, it's not totally public data, and only the people that really know how to use it will use it. Not that they really care to come down to the Geek Bar or anything like that. And out of 6 billion people in the world, do they follow you or do they follow Lady Gaga's smartphone or President Obama's smartphone? Things like that. You can rest assured that President Obama's smartphone will have all the location devices turned off at certain points because he needs to be a little bit secretive on things. So, and of course, there's a lot of ways that you can turn off your smartphone's location data. Turn off the phone. Simple as that. So anyway, if you want to read more on this, it's over at bits.blogs.newyorktimes.com or nytimes.com. It's a great article about the what they're doing to figure out phone congestion in the traffic area. So, and ladies and gentlemen, that is the tech news for the day. Let's get into the new segment called Jeff Put Something into the Cloud. Where'd it go? I have to find it first. There we go.
Jeff put something into the cloud.
All right, let's take a look here. We're going down. This was pretty cool. Just checking it out. And what do we got this today? Hey, look, it's the Google Plus Facebook yin-yang image that I made this week because of everybody that's been hating Facebook. Let's put that in the cloud.
Jeff put something into the cloud.
All right, a little bit of adjustments there as a one-man shop in creating all of this video that you like to see out there. Hey, Jeffrey Powers here, geekazeem.com. You are on the Geek Smack, the newest show, technically the newest show to the oldest show to everything else here. We've got some great sponsors. I'd like to thank those sponsors right now. We're going to start over at Mozy.com. Remember, 15% off if you use that code GEEK. GEEK gets you 15% off the backup now, backup often, backup off-site. Save your documents, your pictures, your life off-site. Save yourself from fire, from theft, from loss of hard drive failure, or whatnot, all by using Mozy's service. You can even get your pictures that you've uploaded to the cloud through your Android device, your iPhone. $5.99 a month per computer. And, of course, if you use that code GEEK, you can get 15% off. So backup now, backup often, backup off-site with Mozy.com. And remember, the audio versions of all these podcasts are found over on Stitcher. If you go over to stitcher.com/geek, put in your email address and download the mobile application for your Android, for your iPhone, for your Palm, for your BlackBerry, and for your iPad, you could win $100. So go over to stitcher.com/geek and good luck in winning $100. And of course, I do all this video, all this switching between webcams and live cams and screens and stuff like that using Telestream's Wirecast program. It's a great program. If you go over to geekazeem.com/Wirecast, geekazeem.com/Wirecast, that will get you to see the program for yourself. And you can try it and you can buy it. Yeah, it's $449, but if you're really interested in creating live webcasts, then you'll want to get that program. That's over at telestream.net, and the name is Wirecast. Wirecast. And you can have a really cool screen like this. A lot of cool effects. Mac, PC, can't go wrong right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to part 2, which is the Geek Smack of things. So let's get into your Geek Smack news.
Geek Smack.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're on the geek side of things, and we're going to start you with this little puppy right here. It's for the music geekers out there. Music geekers out there. That's a new word, geeker. And it's kind of like beaker, except it's geeker. Anyway, it's over on futuremusic.com. It's called the faderfox. Now, this might look like some sort of microphone mixing station for you, but basically what it is a little bit more sophisticated controller. So you can control your track volumes, your parameters, any type of rack parameters. If you're a musician that runs your guitar through a MacBook Pro, you can use this to adjust levels, kind of like a pedal. There's a little joystick on the bottom. It's actually pretty cool. I really like this this device. The price, let's see, the price was £250, which is close to $500 in the United States. They've got some great specialized, it's the controller, USB interface, controls 8 tracks, 24 programmable buttons, 280 commands, which you can change out commands and buttons for what you need, which is pretty cool. 33 LEDs, two-digit display, and a very compact design. So if you want to just have your MacBook Pro and this controller and a couple less things, you might want to check this out. It's over at futuremusic.com, and once again, it's called the faderfox LV3. This is for all you people that want to go green. This is for the green geeks. This is a company called Orange. And let's see if I can pull this up in record time because I forgot to put the video up. Orange is, and we don't need the sound here, so let's just do that. Let's go over here and we'll show you Orange. Basically, the company Orange has come out with this shirt that has a piezoelectric speaker in it. And it works in a reverse fashion to actually turn around, and any type of sound that it gathers, 80 decibels or above, will actually power the shirt to bring into your mobile device, like your iPhone or whatever phone. Now, they're showing off these boots that they use with kinetic energy, and now they're working with sound for the same thing, which I think is pretty cool, to take a shirt and actually set it up so I'm walking around, anything 80 decibels, that's a lawnmower, that's a motorcycle passing, that's a diesel engine, about 40 miles per hour. That's a live concert. It's going to a bar. It's going to a place where just music's playing in the background. 80 decibels is medium noise, so you know, if you're out in the country, it's not going to help you out too much. But if you add this with kinetic power and maybe some solar energy, put a couple solar panels on the shoulders, I don't know, you could actually hook up your mobile device and keep it charged all day long if need be. So that's pretty cool. And so if you want to check out more on that, you can go over to phys.org, PHYSORG.com, and you can find more about the Orange shirt there. For all you Doctor Who geeks out there, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. It's the way to get clean. It's called the TARDIS soap. Yeah, it's a bar of soap that's shaped like a TARDIS. That's so cool. Let's see, the price on this has not been said, but you can you can get this. All you have to do is go over to device.com. Of course, you go to the show notes, and then you can find the link to device.com, and then you can find yourself a TARDIS bar of soap. I'll see about getting that for myself. It's called Type 40 TT soap. It's scented rose. Get it? Anyway, it's of course designed to look like the TARDIS. Oh yeah, there is a price, $16.99. $16.99, and of course they have a direct link, which is over at Etsy.com, ETSY.com. Of course, Device.com is where we get this information. So, speaking, let's stay on Device because we love Device.com. Check this out. This is the Frankenstein camera. What it is a DSLR. I'm gonna zoom this in just a touch. Even more. There we go. It's a DSLR with an old 1917 Kodak camera. Kodak camera that's looks like it's zip tied onto the main lens. So you can take a picture from the old camera into this Pentax digital DSLR camera and take some pictures. So for you photo geeks out there, you got to check that out. It's over at device.com. And it's pretty cool. It's kind of like taking an Instagram photo with your digital camera. Now, I have a couple old digital cameras that I could probably do some steampunking to. And I bet you if I look hard enough, I'll find one of these cameras. So that might be a good project to do down the line. So if you want to check out more on that, go over to device.com. Hey, let's go over to geekazeem.com because our friend R&R Mongoose, yeah, he wants to be called R&R Mongoose. And he wrote an article, really cool article for you gamers out there. It's cheap video games for the summer drought. And he's basically talking about how during the summer the games haven't really been coming out too much lately. So he's suggesting some games out there, including Demon's Soul, including Grand Theft Auto, the obvious stuff, not so obvious stuff. So that's pretty cool. It's for the gamer geek in you. So check that out. What's the one game you love to play? What's the one game you love to come back to? I'm personally not a gamer. I did play a lot of Grand Theft Auto 4 when it came out. I did play a lot of other games. I try to stay away from them simply because of the fact that it takes a lot of my time. But what's the one game that you come back to? Let me know. Twitter me at Geek Azeem. That's right there, at Geek Azeem over on Twitter. And let's find out a little bit more on that. All right, let's go over to boingboing.com. boingboing.net, excuse me, and check this out. For all you Star Wars geeks out there, it's the Darth hairdryer. It's a Temblat Gudlek Gugkave, I believe this is his last name. It's a concept design for a hairdryer in the shape of Darth Vader's mouth, which is pretty freaking cool. So if you are a Darth Vader fan, check that out. It's over at, we got it over at boingboing.net. You can also find it over at device.com as it shows in the link right there. Do you want to get a species named after you? You know, maybe a wild bird or a mongoose or something like that. Hey, you know, it'd be kind of cool if Geek Azeem actually had its own species of animal. It's the Geek Azeem cheetah. I don't know. Some Geek Azeem lion. Maybe Apple could do that and put together the new species of lion. They could call it the Apple lion, the Apple cheetah, you know, something like that. So anyway, there's a nonprofit group that's called Discover Life in America. Has decided, hey, if you want to have a species named after you, all you have to do is pay us $2,500, and you can have a species named after you. I would think that, and they sold 6 of them right now, but $2,500 is actually a pretty good deal. I don't know how many new species come out every single year, but it'd be kind of cool to have a species named after me. So, I don't know. What do you think? Would you get yourself a species? Would you get yourself a name? Would you be named after a animal? Let me know. Geek Azeem. Twitter me at Geek Azeem. All right, last part of the geek section of Geek Smack. Geek Smack, that's kind of hard to remember. You remember that iPhone 4 that everybody talked about? That the prototype one that was left at the bar? Do you want it? They're selling it. Over on eBay. Yeah, they're selling it on eBay. This is over on geek.com. They have the iPhone 4. They're talking about it. Ever since it was noticed that it was on eBay, the price jumped up to something like $1,700, $1,755.99. And of course, the auction price is probably a little bit more. I haven't checked the auction price. We should probably do that right now. As I step on something, apologize for that. So let's do this. Let's kind of make the check. Let's do this live as we go. Let's check to see what the price for it is right now over on eBay. And of course they don't. Oh, there it is via eBay. This listing has been removed, or the item is not available. So yeah, it didn't kind of survive that. Kind of expected. But anyway, you could have gotten yourself the prototype iPhone 4. I could have gotten myself the prototype iPhone 4. What can you do? All right, ladies and gentlemen, that does end us with the geek side of Geek Tech. And there is one more section here, which I was going to actually create an intro for, but I forgot to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the geek news topic of the week. And, of course, let's switch over to this camera. Topic of the week is Google+. Of course, Google+ launched. And Google+, if you haven't checked out Google+, let's show you a little bit of my Google+ right here. And I'll just go into google.com. Let's switch over here. You got google.com right here. And, of course, you see this black bar on top. And on the black bar on top, you see a whole bunch of stuff, including this new part right here, which is the plus with Jeffrey. And, of course, it gets you into the Google Plus project. You choose, I get to choose to sign in. You might not be able to do so. And it's asking for my password because this is the first time I've actually logged in on this computer. So then it comes up with a stream, kind of like Facebook. Looks a little bit like Facebook. I've got new people sharing with me, and I can put them into what are called circles. We'll talk about that in a second. We've got our stream on the left side of all our friends and families and so on and so forth. What are called sparks, which is kind of like a set of RSS feeds. It'll search, like for instance, I have it searching for technology. So every time it finds something technology, it'll turn around and it'll put it into this list so I can see it easier. So far, very limited amount of people, but it's pretty cool. Very straightforward. There's no games in it. There's no applications in it. There's no this or that or the other thing. Now, I wrote up a whole thing over on geekazine.com, and you can check that out over at Geek Azeem. I got that link in the show notes. A lot of people are planning or saying that they're ready to move over. They just want to quit Facebook right now and do the mass exodus. But the reality is, Google Plus is not proven. It's in beta. It's not ready for prime time just yet. So switching over, if you've got no family, if you've got no friends, yeah, go ahead and switch over. There's nobody there, but except for the tech friends and maybe social media friends, so on and so forth. So then, yeah, you're perfect, good to go. Go for it. Switch out your Facebook, delete your Facebook profile, whatever. Now, it does have some other cool things. There's a thing called Hangout. Check this out. Start a Hangout. You can press on that little button. And, of course, I don't have the proper software loaded, so it won't get me anywhere. But I can have up to 9 other people, 10 total people talking back and forth in a voice conversation, sharing items. You know, if you wanted to do like a fantasy football league and you got people all around the world, you can start a Hangout and go from there. This is something very similar that Facebook is expected to talk about next week in their big announcement that Mark Zuckerberg was talking about. Now, one of the interesting things, speaking of Mark Zuckerberg, is he is the most followed person, the most watched person on Google Plus right now. Of course, there are four profiles that I found of Mark Zuckerberg. There's one profile of Michael Jackson too. I thought he was dead, but you know he's alive and he's on Google Plus. Of course, they've been watching all these stats really quick because there's a lot of people on Google Plus and a lot of people at the gates waiting to get in, which is pretty interesting. I'm glad that I'm on Google Plus because then I don't have to wait in the wings. Now there were some other issues that came out. For example, Facebook, there was a way that you could actually export your friend information, emails and stuff like that. Somebody exploited that and tried to port everything and said you could port everything now over to Google Plus, which was great for Google Plus. But Facebook said, hey, wait a minute, no, this is major privacy issues. So they blocked it. There's going to be a back and forth fight as long as Facebook doesn't block the fact that I can move over my pictures, my posts, my stuff. I'm happy with that. I don't need to spam my friends and say, hey, you know, go over to Google Plus. It's a lot cooler than Facebook. And if you think about it, it's kind of like if you were in a job and you decided to move on to a different job, and they and you the week later you called up all your buddies and said, hey, you know, you should go over to this job. This job's going to pay more. This job's going to have better benefits. Facebook is basically trying to just squelch the idea of privacy concerns, and I totally agree on that. So a lot of people are saying negative things about it, but the reality is they're saving your data, no matter how you look at it. So that's pretty cool right there. If you want to read out more about this, we got a few links in the show notes for everything you need to know about Google Plus. There's a whole bunch more on the internet. All you have to do is do a Google search or a Bing search, wherever your favorite search engine lies. Do that search and you'll find out more here. Of course, there's some other programs. If you want to bring in your Instagram photos into Google Plus, you can do so through a small website. There's another website that does vanity URLs. Yeah, so you can go Google Plus /Geek Azeem and get that stuff too. So, but that's basically Google Plus in a nutshell. You're not really missing out if you're just the average user looking for a new way to social network. Is it going to replace Twitter? Is it going to replace Facebook? Is it going to replace FriendFeed? Only time will tell. But the reality is this. Google Plus in its form right now is not what Google Plus will be in 6 weeks. I expect Google Plus to have games like Farmville, like Cityville, like Angry Birds, which will probably be one of the first games that comes on. I expect ads to come up on there and you to get the option to purchase ads. I expect you to hook up your AdSense account, and if you're a more popular person up on Google Plus, you might actually get paid for blogging over on Google Plus. It's a very possible scenario over at Google Plus. So in the end, it's about privacy. It's about getting the posts that you need. It's about getting the information that you want. It's about not seeing so many animated GIFs. What are we still on GeoCities days or something like that? Anybody on Google Plus will know exactly what I'm talking about. So, ladies and gentlemen, just social network on Google Plus like you would on Facebook, and you'll be fine. You can set up your circles. We didn't even talk about the circles part. Circles, you can actually put everybody into a friend circle, into a family circle. I like the circle idea, but the reality is you can do that on Facebook. They're not called circles, but you can do it on Facebook. And it requires you to be somewhat organized in your thought to put people into different groups. Whether it's good or not, I don't know. We'll have to, only time will tell. If you're switching over to Google Plus, hey, great. If you're going to stay on Facebook, hey, great. You can ask, that's the question of the week here, which I completely missed over there. Question of the week is basically, will you be exodusing, that's the word, exodusing to Google Plus, or will you stay on Facebook? Let me know over at geekazeem.com, and appreciate that much. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I think that's it. That's all I have on the docket here today. Hope you liked it. If you have any questions, feel free to Twitter me over at Geek Azeem. Of course, you can also go to geekazine@gmail.com. You can email me at geekazine@gmail.com. And, of course, the phone line is 608-205-4378. For now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we're going to smack you on your way out of here. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening to Geek Smack episode number 191. We will have a 200th episode party, whatever that means. So I hope to see you here soon. Tell all your friends about Geek Azeem. And, of course, if you're checking out through iTunes, if you're checking out through whatever aggregator, please give us a couple stars. Over on YouTube, give us a couple stars and comment on everything. For Geek Smack, my name is Jeffrey Powers. Thanks a lot for watching and listening. And we will see you next week. We will be here next week for Geek Smack. And until then, take care.